The economic motivation and economic effect of a non-market producer differ from those of a market producer. So, to conduct sound fiscal policy making and analyses, we separate the activities of non-market and market producers. In GFS and PSDS, we divide the public sector at the highest level into market producers and non-market producers. A market producer is an institutional unit that provides all or most of its output to others at prices that are economically significant. For example, farmers and supermarket companies. A non-market producer is an institutional unit that provides all or most of its output to others for free or at prices that are not economically significant. For example, a ministry of police or an agency providing social services free of charge. Economically significant prices are prices that have a significant effect on the amounts that producers are willing to supply and that purchasers wish to buy. Prices are economically significant if sales cover the majority of a producer's costs, and consumers are free to choose whether to buy and how much to buy on the basis of the prices charged. There is no prescriptive numerical relationship between the value of sales and the production costs. But, as a rule of thumb, the value of the sales by public corporations should average at least half of the production costs over a sustained multi-year period. We classify public sector units that are primarily non-market producers in the general government sector, and we classify units that are primarily market producers in the public corporations sector, either in the public non-financial corporations or public financial corporations sector. The general government sector includes all government units and all resident non-market non-profit institutions that are controlled by government units. This sector also contains public enterprises that are legally constituted as corporations but don't satisfy the statistical criteria to be treated as such. In other words, they are not market producers. The public corporations sector covers all corporations controlled by government units or by other public corporations that satisfy the statistical criteria to be treated as corporations. In other words, they are market producers. To complete the delineation between general government and public corporations, we ask two more questions. First, can we identify within government a market establishment that satisfies the criteria of an institutional unit? And second, is the institutional unit a financial auxiliary? If we can identify a market establishment within government and it satisfies the criteria to be a separate institutional unit, then we should classify this market establishment as a quasi-corporation in the public corporations sector. Otherwise, the market establishment remains an integral part of the general government sector. As a non-market producer, a general government institutional unit will have mostly non-market establishments, but it may have one or more market establishments. For example, the municipality may have a swimming pool that charges entrance fees that cover most of its costs.